Olá, bem-vindo mais uma vez. Vamos falar aqui de crédito imobiliário. Então, crédito imobiliário, aqui no nosso país, não temos ainda esse problema de crédito imobiliário. Claro, o problema que estamos tendo agora, que são dos distratos, em função do governo, que eu já falei lá atrás. Mas muitos estão falando que tem bolha. Bolha não, gente, não é bolha. Não vão nessa onda. Bolha é uma coisa absurda. Eu até vou ter um vídeo à frente que nós vamos falar para você o que é bolha, todos os detalhes, como ela ocorreu nos Estados Unidos, e aqui está longe disso. Né? No momento, não tem possibilidade de ter bolha do jeito que está hoje. E, infelizmente, eu vou relatar isso para vocês, que o Brasil é o país que mais fala mal dele mesmo. Digo para vocês, se você estiver no exterior, falar para um amigo seu lá, pegar um jornal aqui brasileiro, um site de Globo, ou qualquer outro que você vê, vai ver as notícias, vai ver que, infelizmente, as notícias são ruins. Rouba aqui, rouba lá, faz um monte de coisa, só notícias ruins. A pessoa nem desiste de vir. Se depender das notícias ali, ele desiste de vir. Ninguém vem ao Brasil, infelizmente. Agora, nós que vivemos aqui sabemos que o que os jornais falam, o que a imprensa fala, existe, mas não no alarde que eles falam. Senão a gente estaria aí, né, aqui pior que a Síria. Não é verdade? Então, nós temos que entender uma coisa. Temos que valorizar o que é bom e também temos que estar atentos à verdade. Então, bolha é uma mentira. E o vídeo à frente vai provar a vocês isso. E tente comparar o que está acontecendo no Brasil com o que já aconteceu nos Estados Unidos. Crédito. Lá foi a crise de crédito. Pararam de pagar 66% de inadimplência. Aqui não tem nem 3%. Absurdo isso. E outra, quando houve a bolha lá, o primeiro sinal da bolha eclodir que foi alta dos aluguéis, que as pessoas não vão morar na rua. Quem tem dinheiro pode até deixar de pagar com uma questão financeira de investimento, mas ele não vai morar na rua. Ele parou de pagar e correu para o aluguel. Aqui não. Aqui não. Eles se fixaram no aluguel, muitos foram morar na casa de amigos ou dos pais e tal. Tanto é que o aluguel não subiu de preço. Está caindo o aluguel também. Imagina, olha a combinação que tem nesse país. Inflação alta, juros altos, aluguel em baixa e queda de imóveis em baixa, falta de dinheiro, gente. E a inflação, pelo descontrole do governo, alta do dólar. Finalmente, entenda bem isso. Esse é o mecanismo. Agora, o que aconteceu isso, você viu aí o governo, né? Com a falta de confiança, enfim. São coisas de governo que vocês que estão aí, for ler o cenário econômico atual, a conjuntura, vocês vão entender o que foi isso. Mas não é bolha imobiliária, não o desastre imobiliário que causou essa crise do Brasil, como foi nos Estados Unidos. Não é, não. Até porque o financiamento imobiliário nos Estados Unidos, 70% do crédito dos bancos. Então, 70% do dinheiro que os bancos emprestam lá para a área imobiliária. A imobiliária quebrar, os bancos quebram, como chegou a quebrar branco. Então, nós temos que entender isso. Aqui, mesmo que houvesse a tal bolha, não ia deteriorar bancos. Né? Mas é isso que estamos vendo aí. Governo não cumprir a parte dele, como já falo em outros vídeos meus aí, eles falam sobre distrato, e governo e o povo que fica aí fazendo alarde sem ler direito, gente. Hoje tem internet aí, seleciona as fontes, pelo amor de Deus. Eu vou orar para que esse país aí, as pessoas aprendam pelo menos agora com a internet. Buscar uma fonte confiável, pelo amor de Deus. E tenham um bom senso de entender o que é isso e o que é isso. E pronto. Entrevista Robert Schiller tem aí na internet. Não tenta ouvir alguém te falar, vê lá, pede alguém para traduzir e tal. Eu tenho aqui, vou até publicar também. Mas entenda, gente, não fica ouvindo balelas desses repórterzinhos de emissora aí, pagos para falar aquilo ali. Economistas de bolsas que andam falando aí, balelas E só para você pegar... Agora eu digo para você, pergunte aqueles que estão falando da tal bolha aí. Se eles venderam o imóvel deles e estão morando de aluguel. Não estão. Eles são os primeiros a estar comprando imóveis. Olha que você vai flagrar um deles aí comprando imóveis. Mas vendendo não. Vendendo não está não. Então, muito obrigado. E até a próxima palestra. Assista o vídeo aí. Tá? Somente 10 minutos. E você vai entender como é que funcionou, como é que ocorreu a bolha imobiliária nos Estados Unidos. Tá? Muito obrigado e até a próxima palestra.
The crisis of credit, visualized. What is the credit crisis? It's a worldwide financial fiasco involving terms you've probably heard, like subprime mortgages, collateralized debt obligations, frozen credit markets, and credit default swaps. Who's affected? Everyone. How did it happen? Here's how. The credit crisis brings two groups of people together, homeowners and investors. Homeowners represent their mortgages, and investors represent their money. These mortgages represent houses, and this money represents large institutions like pension funds, insurance companies, sovereign funds, mutual funds, etc. These groups are brought together through the financial system, a bunch of banks and brokers commonly known as Wall Street. While it may not seem like it, these banks on Wall Street are closely connected to these houses on Main Street. To understand how, let's start at the beginning. Years ago, the investors are sitting on their pile of money, looking for a good investment to turn into more money. Traditionally, they go to the U.S. Federal Reserve, where they buy Treasury bills, believed to be the safest investment. But in the wake of the dot-com bust in September 11th, Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan lowers interest rates to only 1% to keep the economy strong. 1% is a very low return on investment, so the investors say, no thanks. On the flip side, this means banks on Wall Street can borrow from the Fed for only 1%. Add to that general surpluses from Japan, China, and the Middle East, and there's an abundance of cheap credit. This makes borrowing money easy for banks and causes them to go crazy with leverage. Leverage is borrowing money to amplify the outcome of a deal. Here's how it works. In a normal deal, someone with $10,000 buys a box for $10,000. He then sells it to someone else for $11,000. For a $1,000 profit, a good deal. But using leverage, someone with $10,000 would go borrow $990,000 more, giving him $1 million in hand. Then he goes and buys 100 boxes with his $1 million and sells them to someone else for $1,100,000. Then he pays back his $990,000 plus $10,000 in interest. And after his initial $10,000, he's left with a $90,000 profit versus the other guy's $1,000. Leverage turns good deals into great deals. This is a major way banks make their money. So Wall Street takes out a ton of credit, makes great deals, and grows tremendously rich, and then pays it back. The investors see this and want a piece of the action, and this gives Wall Street an idea. They can connect the investors to the homeowners through mortgages. Here's how it works. A family wants a house, so they save for a down payment and contact a mortgage broker. The mortgage broker connects the family to a lender who gives them a mortgage. The broker makes a nice commission. The family buys a house and becomes homeowners. This is great for them because housing prices have been rising practically forever. Everything works out nicely. One day, the lender gets a call from an investment banker who wants to buy the mortgage. The lender sells it to him for a very nice fee. The investment banker then borrows millions of dollars and buys thousands more mortgages and puts them into a nice little box. This means that every month he gets the payments from the homeowners of all the mortgages in the box. Then he sicks his banker wizards on it to work their financial magic, which is basically cutting it into 3 slices: safe, okay, and risky. They pack the slices back up in the box and call it a collateralized debt obligation, or CDO. A CDO works like 3 cascading trays. As money comes in, the top tray fills first, then spills over into the middle, and whatever is left into the bottom. The money comes from homeowners paying off their mortgages. If some owners don't pay and default on their mortgage, less money comes in, and the bottom tray may not get filled. This makes the bottom tray riskier and the top tray safer. To compensate for the higher risk, the bottom tray receives a higher rate of return, while the top receives a lower, but still nice return. To make the top even safer, banks will insure it for a small fee called a credit default swap. The banks do all of this work so that credit rating agencies will stamp the top slice as a safe, AAA rated investment, the highest, safest rating there is. The OK slice is BBB, still pretty good, and they don't bother to rate the risky slice. Because of the AAA rating, the investment banker can sell the safe slice to the investors who only want safe investments. He sells the OK slice to other bankers, and the risky slices to hedge funds and other risk takers. The investment banker makes millions. He then repays his loans. Finally, the investors have found a good investment for their money, much better than the 1% Treasury bills. They're so pleased they want more CDO slices. So the investment banker calls up the lender, wanting more mortgages. The lender calls up the broker for more homeowners, but the broker can't find anyone. Everyone that qualifies for a mortgage already has one, but they have an idea. When homeowners default on their mortgage, the lender gets the house, and houses are always increasing in value. Since they're covered if the homeowners default, lenders can start adding risk to new mortgages, not requiring down payments, no proof of income, no documents at all. And that's exactly what they did. So instead of lending to responsible homeowners, called prime mortgages, they started to get some that were, well, less responsible. These are subprime mortgages. This is the turning point. So, just like always, the mortgage broker connects the family with a lender and a mortgage, making his commission. The family buys a big house. The lender sells the mortgage to the investment banker, who turns it into a CDO and sells slices to the investors and others. This actually works out nicely for everyone and makes them all rich. No one was worried because as soon as they sold the mortgage to the next guy, it was his problem. If the homeowners were to default, they didn't care. They were selling off their risk to the next guy and making millions, like playing hot potato with a time bomb. Not surprisingly, the homeowners default on their mortgage, which at this moment is owned by the banker. This means he forecloses and one of his monthly payments turns into a house. No big deal. He puts it up for sale. But more and more of his monthly payments turn into houses. Now there are so many houses for sale on the market, creating more supply than there is demand, and housing prices aren't rising anymore. In fact, they plummet. This creates an interesting problem for homeowners still paying their mortgages. As all the houses in their neighborhood go up for sale, the value of their house goes down, and they start to wonder why they're paying back their $300,000 mortgage when the house is now worth only $90,000. They decide that it doesn't make sense to continue paying, even though they can afford to, and they walk away from their house. Default rates sweep the country and prices plummet. Now the investment banker is basically holding a box full of worthless houses. He calls up his buddy the investor to sell his CDO, but the investor isn't stupid and says, no thanks. He knows that the stream of money isn't even a dribble anymore. The banker tries to sell to everyone, but nobody wants to buy his bomb. He's freaking out because he borrowed millions, sometimes billions of dollars to buy this bomb, and he can't pay it back. Whatever he tries, he can't get rid of it. But he's not the only one. The investors have already bought thousands of these bombs. The lender calls up trying to sell his mortgage, but the banker won't buy it, and the broker is out of work. The whole financial system is frozen, and things get dark. Everybody starts going bankrupt. But that's not all. The investor calls up the homeowner and tells him that his investments are worthless. And you can begin to see how the crisis flows in a cycle. Welcome to the crisis of credit.